So a few months ago here on the channel, we built this beauty right here. This is the Negative G F3 extreme cheater crawler rig, whatever you want to call it. Outboard motor, all this new 32-bit ESC technology. Completely different when it comes to like the crawlers that I was used to. This used to be like a 9-pound TRX4 that was converted into like this 5-pound beauty. Now I told you my reasons for doing that. You know, crawlers are just kind of big bobbly things that are sometimes more frustrating than fun. And I had a Vanquish Fordyce as well just sitting around. And so why not do something with it too, right? And that's what we did. We went ahead and we picked up one of the Zoku chassis, converted everything over, and we've done a little bit of work to it, and we're going to talk about it right now on the channel. So first of all, I'm not going to pretend like I'm a crawler expert at all. I'm definitely a dabbler at this point. But we've been doing things like building these chassis, playing with the electronics, buying and trying different tires and the silicone foams that are inside of here, and these J-Concept Tusks, which are just amazing tires that have the squid 3D printed foams inside of them. The dog loves chasing the crawlers as well. If you take a real close at all of the scratches and slobber and even a little bit of blood, good thing, but it's also a bad thing when dad wants to play. So the Zoku chassis runs about $200. I think it's a little bit more for the carbon one that we have here. And literally you take everything off of your Vanquish Phoenix, Fordyce, or whatever, and you plop it all onto this chassis. Of course, you can see we've done a little bit more modifications to this as well. We went with the Hobbywing Fusion in there because just getting rid of the ESC and having all of it together is just amazing. We've got such simple, clean wiring. Desert Lizard shocks right now. That's something else that we're going to be playing with, is building up some different kind of shocks, maybe some Dravtex, everything like that. You know, running like these little batteries, like you see the little baby battery I have, 654S inside of the Negative G. I've got this little 3S hanging off the side here that I run on this and in my Granite Grom and my Typhon Grom and stuff like that. Kit does show up in a box like this. Comes with awesome printed instructions that you use to get everything switched over. It's literally tells you what screws to use, everything else. I don't think I had to go to my parts bin at all, maybe just for some screws that I either dropped on the floor or that I wanted to replace. I did need some M3 spacers in various sizes for the shocks, and I had to do the same thing with the Negative G build. Might just be a Desert Lizard type of thing. We'll see how things go. We're going to build up some of these Traxxas shocks with the mini B springs as well to see how that will work out. The reason I bought it was to get rid of everything that I didn't need on the Fordyce. But I did want this because I like the way that this had all of the attachment points for the Vanquish body. But this body is big and bulky and quite honestly ugly. Even though it all fits on here just perfectly well. You can see the cutout right here where this will actually just go in, slide in, and everything, it just sits right down on there perfectly. Put your body pins in there and you are good to go. You can see how the insides tuck just perfectly inside to the sliders. And I mean, you really couldn't ask for a better fit and a better way to transfer everything. So if you've got a Phoenix that you're not happy with, or a Fordyce or something like that, this will get you going. Get you LCG, get your weight down a little bit, and then you could do some things like maybe hack up your body or go a different route like I plan on doing, going with one of the J Concept creep or creeper bodies. They do sell like half cab mounts and different kind of body mounts that you can put on the chassis as well. So we're going to be playing around with a little bit of that. And yeah, I am just loving this thing. Obviously, I did run this outside a little bit and just kind of see and make sure it all works, but I didn't capture any of that. So I think what we'll do is we will mount some tires up on it now and take it out there and show you. The performance out of this is damn good. Like, I was actually surprised. It literally made it just so much more enjoyable. Now, I love my negative G. I mean, that's probably like my 80% of the time vehicle that I'm going to be playing with. But this has got, you know, it's got diffusion, which is waterproof and all that kind of stuff. I'm hearing different information as far as being able to run you know, the Wraith outboard stuff in water and mud, and you know, I don't want to take a chance and ruin the stuff. The build is so great. I would rather just run it on dry days, but I could run this thing all the time, wet, rain, shine, whatever. So we got the J Concepts, and we got these Endura comp pins with some cut Endura foams. So I think we're going to throw these on and we'll head out back and we'll just kind of romp around on some of the rocks that I have piled up already and show you guys what this thing does. So we'll just start with some nice low speed control here. You can see tires just working and grabbing, doing their things. Sitting here watching all this, it's just amazing. There's no way that like any of my stock rigs would have been able to crawl like this. The Fordyce would have fell over on its face about 20 times, even with all the modifications that I had done to it, as far as like cutting out the body, changing shocks, all the things that I did to it. Nothing really made it work out as good as this chassis did. I mean, we stripped off a bunch of weight and we intend to strip off even more weight. I'm really excited to start working on my course outside. I've been working on this whole back bed area here. You can see I've got a ton of flagstone. I've got more rocks and flagstone and everything just all over the property that I can start rearranging and kind of turn these beds into, from trash into something that is actually usable. Pretty excited about that. So I've been watching lots of videos and checking out people's different courses and trying to find something that is repeatable, that we can do some testing on, that can actually show people differences between some of the things that we do. Spend a lot at home, a lot of work, you know, time at home. So being able to do something like crawling at home in your backyard with my dog Coda, of course, is always a great thing as well. Again, just checking this thing out, watching how everything, it just kind of articulates, the power of that fusion system, just to be able to, the low speed crawling ability of it, and just really, again, the Zoku kit, how everything is just kind of like flattened out, you know, like all the shock angles and links and stuff are all kind of arranged a little bit differently. The shocks aren't like straight up and down, so you just don't have this like bounciness and crazy rebounding and stuff going on all the time. One thing about my setup is this is the 1200 kV, I think. I can't remember. I think it's the 1200 kV. It's very, very slow, so it's definitely made for crawling. Nowhere near ready for a trail rig at all. This is more of an area, an old pond that was here when we bought the house, and we're going to be starting to redo all this back there as well. Got the fence taken down and all that kind of stuff, and you know, we're just going to be redoing all this. So of course, got all of this amazing material to work with, and of course we'll be putting most of it to use for the home and not for the crawler course. I'm sure the woman would not appreciate that at all, but when it comes, and no scary, wasn't scared at all here. I was pretty confident that this thing would hold on, the power of the tusks and also the power of the Zoku chassis to keep all the weight nice and low and just rumble around right through everything. Keep it high here so we don't go into the drink. And then we can't get back around. Just have to drive it back around here. That's going to do it, guys, for our little review of the Zoku chassis built out of a Fordyce. So the Fordyce is no more. We now have the Zoku dice, or the Forku, whatever you want to call it, and it's awesome. So we're going to have a lot more of it here on the channel coming up. Let me know if you have any questions, and peace.